from one end of the earth clear to the other end of the earth. They will not be bewailed, neither will they be gathered up or be buried. As manure on the surface of the ground, they will become. Now, fictions, friends. This gruesome fiction. Dead bodies and body parts of the wicked will lie strewn on the surface of the ground, in streets, alleyways, fields, and buildings. Now, notice that God in this verse tells us here that no one will mourn or bury these dead ones. So what does this tell us? It shows us that we will not be traumatized by his mass annihilation of these individuals. No, his divine execution of the wicked will not haunt us for the rest of our lives. Rather, we will react to it today as we do when a vicious serial murderer is executed. How do you feel about him when he gets it? Why, we will feel an inner satisfaction. Our indignation has been appeased. Yes, a sense of triumph. Jehovah's justice has been served. AIDS has been stopped. The gays are gone. The homosexuals, the lesbians, the murderers, the drug lords, all gone. Now, you're going to feel sorry for these people? No. And those that don't mind them living around, you're going to feel sorry for individual or no? Now, how will Jehovah dispose of all these bodies of those slain by him? Ezekiel 39 and Revelation 19. You can look this up when you get home. We haven't got the time. Tell him he will beckon his wild beasts and birds to come and devour their fleshly parts.
Well, hello again. This video shouldn't be controversial because I think it makes sense. My whole thing is you can't be a good person and be in a destructive cult. Especially any of them, but the JW Watchtower that does spiritual abuse, like their shunning policy, they call it a loving provision. Everything they say is the opposite of what they mean. I've come to realize that. So, why do I say this? I know I'm a good person. I had potential to be a good person. But as long as I was in, my mind was theirs, and I was just following robotically what the rulers of the Watchtower programmed. We weren't doing any charity. We weren't even helping ourselves, man. We were going around knocking on doors, telling people about the Bible that wasn't even a real Bible. And now I know that the New Testament's not even for us. It's for the 144,000. The Watchtower has this in many of their publications. We have Jesus is not our mediator, so there goes the New Testament. We're not even, the Old Testament's not for us because we're not Jewish, so the Bible isn't for us. We're going around knocking on doors telling people about something we can't even have. They can't even have. Outrageous. But I just want to say this. Yes, any JW in has potential good person. Could be a potentially good person, for sure. But when you're in, man, notice these. What do we got here again? We got teach your children. Jehovah's Witnesses. Who are they? What do they believe? Look like such nice people. We dressed well. It was all a facade. On the inside, it was rotten. On the outside, it's the wolves from sheep's clothing, man. Everything they say is they make it like the McDonald's hamburger. It looks so good, but when you get it home, it's all crunched down and doesn't look like anything like it did on the TV. This is the freaking reality of it, man. This is the reality of it. What we believed. Everybody was going to die except for us. And then the organization had us have smiles on our faces. That's psychotic. That is not someone that has any feelings. That's not someone that has a conscience, okay? or feelings. They have no conscience. The rest of this video is made up of a collage of things I've collected to prove why you can't be a good person and be in the JW Watchtower. There are men who haven't talked to their daughters and grandchildren in 20 years. There are mothers who haven't talked to their sons in 30 years. Vice versa. Sisters and brothers who haven't talked to each other. There's the 2-witness rule. All the child abuse, and they're not even backing off on that. They've stated publicly they're going to stay with that. But, you know, I have a bunch of stuff on here, and you notice the hang-ups. When I love watching Bridget from AZ, but when she gets through, they just hang up. They don't want to. I think what's going on is, with this spiritual abuse, a JW is going to say to Jesus at the time of the end, yeah, but who would fool somebody with such a thing? It can't be my fault. And in a way, they have a point. They do have a point in a way. And I've wrestled with this. Who's really at fault? The organization is at fault for sure. And especially now that the governing body, they know what they're doing. I think the whole time these clowns knew what they were doing. If some of them didn't, they know now. But there's a lot of things in this. There's ExJW critical thinker thing on here with the gal wrote a nice book, and I'm gonna buy the book. She was sick for 4 months. They didn't do a dang thing from her. 10-year Bethelite, man. There's an interview on another guy. I really like this guy. And he interviews Grace Gough. Her daughter and her granddaughter won't even talk to her and haven't talked to her for years, but she's smart. She puts money into her daughter's account, and then her daughter will talk to her just to hear her voice. The cruelest thing is, though, when she says, I love you, the daughter hangs up, won't say I love you. Remember, we couldn't say God bless? That's why I say God bless all the time. We couldn't even say God bless. That's freaking messed up. Someone's dad was dying, and they actually came, the elders, and asked if they had any field service hours to hand in. You can't make this stuff up. I have on there also a young man who's doesn't feel good about putting his field service hours, writing it down. He doesn't think it's scriptural. It's not. And these elders just gang up on him. They use all this mental gymnastics on this poor guy. And he stands his ground. And that's part of that's on. All the links are down there. You can watch all the videos. They're fantastic. Yeah, just have at it. Have at it. Let me know what you think. Because there's no way in heck you can be a good person, not really a good person, and swallow this crap, man. There's just no way, man. No way. Take care.
Here may be unique in American history. The marches you see are not protesting unfair labor practices or advocating a political cause. They are here to challenge the conscience of the wealthy and powerful Watchtower Society, better known to the public as Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses have a massive international organization with millions of members and hundreds of millions of dollars.
A gift of God gave to the human race.
But this deeply committed group is not likely to be intimidated. They have an urgent message to deliver.
You can't see the hurt that we feel, but we have so much pain because so many of us are separated from our families because of the Watchtower organization's rules. I'm fair, I'm kind, I'm loving, I'm Christian rules.
The organization sets itself up in the place of Christ, and that is something that the Bible does not teach.
The reason we are here today is to attract attention to a genuine false prophet. A genuine false prophet that Jesus warned us about.
They have lied to us, they have deceived us, and we have the documented evidence.
Yes, because, again, I'm practical minded. Hey, you gotta survive, I think the problem that I had, and it's in the story, when I got sick for that few years, this was after the marriage to Lewis, when I got sick that 1 year and I didn't work for 4 months, that was trying, because I did feel like, oh my goodness, I have to get well, because who's gonna take care of me? There's nothing in the organization, and they don't care that you were at Bethel for 10 years or whatever. You better take care of yourself, because there's no social programs and the witnesses that are going to help you get on your feet. It's, so that was trying. That was a trying period. That did help me to see that, witnesses are more involved with their preaching and their organizational activities than helping each other. That was one thing that was eye-opening for me, and also helped me to see that if I wasn't really feeling the organization anymore, if I wasn't really thinking this is the way I wanted to live anymore, I'm only losing this organizational structure and the people in it, but not this system that was going to help me in my time of need. You know what I'm saying? So I think it helped me to kind of correctly assess what I would be leaving and to be okay with leaving it, knowing that I would probably find more support outside of it. And I did. I was amazed. I did. Carl went to a number of churches after we left, and I was interested in seeing, what social programs were in those churches, and I just loved seeing all the work those churches were doing in helping their communities. Now, I didn't want to necessarily join or, to agree what they were saying, but I just thought, wow, what they're doing in the community is wonderful. As opposed to the witnesses here, I kind of fell flat on my face. And there's nothing to help you, you're just on your own, which, with all the millions of dollars that they have, I couldn't understand. How is it that you're just on your own? That's it. Great knowing you. Great for all the years of service you did. You better get your stuff together and get it. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's what happened.
The life of some other creature. And that for that reason, because God has forbidden it, we abstain from taking blood.
The blood issue in the back of our minds was bothering us because as Jehovah's Witnesses, if we freely gave a blood transfusion to our daughter, we'd be excommunicated, we'd be disfellowshipped. Well, the doctors finally came to our room and it was just like an ultimatum. They said, listen, we know from our records that you're a Jehovah's Witness. We know that you don't take blood transfusions. And the doctor looked me straight in the eye and said, Mr. and Mrs. Blizzard, you have to make a decision, yes or no, whether your child lives or dies. I remember going over to the bed and she had these cords and wires keeping her alive, life support systems, and holding this limp child that was our only daughter, and just going over to the window and looking out and watching the clouds and the sky and just started to weep. And I said, oh God, Jehovah, and I prayed to Jehovah.
We just had a real distinct impression that we were supposed to obey God's law and go by what we had always been taught, and that we were to let our daughter die. And so we just called the doctors back in and told them that we had just had to let her die, that we had to obey God's law.
About a half an hour later, a sheriff deputy came to our room and gave my wife and I both citations, and they told us that a court order has already been issued, your daughter is going to get the blood, and they also warned the staff of the hospital not to allow us to take Jenny out of the hospital.
And we were charged with child neglect and abuse.
The witnesses, there was multitudes of them that came up to the room, just swarmed the room, tried to giving us Watchtower articles about artificial blood, and you just can't let your child take that blood, and just putting this heavy guilt trip on us. The others were relieved to find out that there was still time to get Jenny out of the hospital. And they would come up to me and say, hey, I've got a plan. We can get her, we can hire a helicopter, we can sneak her out of this hospital, just unhook the tubes, and we're gone. And I said, wait a minute. You can't do that. It's against the law. I'll be charged with murder. They said, that's a chance you're going to have to take. And I just told them, look, I just can't let my child die in that way. And the elders were just so upset. They left in a huff. They were mad. And one of the elders said on the way out, he looked me in the eye and said, you know what? I hope your daughter gets hepatitis from that blood. And that was just the straw that broke the camel's back. I was just broken here. My own people, God's organization, turning against me, cursing me, because I just wanted to see my child live. And so they left. And we were all alone. Even my own parents didn't come see us.
Still, Jehovah's Witnesses maintain that theirs is the only true religion. All others constitute the worldwide empire of false religion, the whore of Babylon spoken of in the book of Revelation. The Watchtower says these religions are guilty of spiritual fornication with the political and commercial rulers of the world, and will all be slaughtered by God at Armageddon. Only the true Christians, Jehovah's Witnesses, will survive. F.M. Gough, a Watchtower spokesman and member of the headquarters staff, explains.
Well, we feel Jehovah's Witnesses are the only true religion, otherwise we would be teaching something else. But the reason is because we follow the Bible completely.
To support its beliefs, the Watchtower organization has published its own version of the Bible, called the New World Translation. To lend credence to this translation, the Watchtower Society has deliberately misquoted a number of well-known Greek scholars. Dr. J.R. Manty, an eminent Greek scholar, was one of the authorities quoted out of context. The Watchtower Society has implied that he supports the New World Translation. Dr. Manty disagrees.
I've never found any so-called translation that goes so far away from what the Scripture actually teaches as these books published by Jehovah's Witnesses. They are so far away from what there is in the original Hebrew and the original Greek.
Dr. Manty called the Jehovah's Witness Bible a shocking mistranslation, obsolete and incorrect.
You can't follow there because it's biased and it's deceptive because they deliberately changed words in a passage of Scripture to make it fit into their doctrine. They distorted the Scripture in many passages, scores and scores of passages in the New Testament, dealing with the deity of Christ despite.
It's going to go down to this, really. Like tonight we talked about the governing body. Mm-hmm. We talked about the governing body tonight, right? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that they're the faithfulness free slave class?
Yeah, I do. Slave.
Yeah. They're the faithfulness free slave. And if you believe that they are taking the lead on the earth, they are taking care of us, you know, that is what they want us to do.
They report their time.
They report their time. So they're telling us that, you know, the Scripture says, listen to your mother and your father. In the Bible, who is our mother?
What scripture is that taken from?
It's early. It talks about listen to the counsel of my father and something of my discipline of your father and the counsel of your mother. Basically, the father is known to represent Jehovah. Okay. And the mother is God's organization. God's organization. The Bible don't tell you to turn your time in. The Bible don't tell you to do that, but God's organization, mother, tells us to do that. So it's really, you know, something that you're going to have to, it all boils down to loyalty to Jehovah's organization.
And, you know, he that is faithful in what is least, faithful in what is great.
So we're not, you know, we're not going to hold you up. I think, go ahead.
I tend not to mince words or waste words. I'm a little more concerned. I know he's very concerned. Otherwise, he would be simple and plain. But we all have different backgrounds and different experiences in life. this can be a start to a serious problem. We don't get grips on what you're thinking and how you're feeling and why you're things. If you've been around someone who shared this viewpoint with you, or if you've read something on a website that shared this viewpoint with you, I need that now.
No, I haven't even had, no.
Because those expressions I feel, and this is the way I interpret reading scriptures, is not a good way to express yourself. If you have not been in association, or have not talked or read something with these far out thinkers, or these twisted minds I hear that say you look at things your way, or I feel that you and I can't take the place of what we're going to take the place. So we don't interpret and we don't read into anything. It's not consistent. Those scriptures and your thought is not consistent throughout the Bible. It doesn't make you see.
Well,
You can't come to that conclusion yourself because it's not there.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of scriptures that tell us we need to, put our faith in Jesus.